welcome back. Today we're looking at a special genre of Shakespeare play called the romance. Now, when Shakespeare's body of work was first published by some of his friends after his death, it was categorized into three genres: the comedies, the tragedies, and the histories. However, Shakespeare had several plays that seemed to defy these easy categories. For instance, there are the problem plays, which generally follow the form of a comedy, but don't feel like comedies. But there's a second category that scholars have begun to use to label a few of Shakespeare's late plays, and that is the romance genre. Plays in the romance genre feel like tragedies, and yet they end in a happy way, with a kind of restoration. And so they still carry the psychological and emotional weight of a tragedy, and the growth of the character's experience through tragedy, while also offering an opportunity for redemption that the tragedies don't offer. The plays generally considered to be romance plays are Winter's Tale, The Tempest, Pericles, and Cymbeline, although some people also throw in Two Noble Kinsmen. And a few outliers throw in Henry VIII as well, even though it's clearly a history play. So other than the tragic feel along with the happy ending, what do these plays have in common? What characterizes a romance play? Well, the four central romances deal with some sort of family wrong that then is extended over time. There's often a sense of family separation in the first half of the story. In The Winter's Tale, it's because Leonatus has this fit of horrible jealousy and rage, which leads to the death of part of his family, and he thinks the death of his entire family. When he's reunited at the end of the play with his wife and his daughter, it is an incredibly touching sequence, but is still with the weight of the wrong that he's done them all of these years, as well as the loss of his beautiful son. The Tempest doesn't have a separation between a father and a daughter, but it does have a wrong done a long time ago. Prospero was exiled and cast adrift with his infant daughter, and he arrives on this island and is able to learn magic and overcome his problems in that way. In this play, the reunification comes between him and those people who have wronged him, and we see how he's going to deal with the crimes that they've committed against him. In Pericles, we also have a separation between a father, his wife, and his daughter. The death of his wife leads him in his grief to allow others to take care of his daughter. But his letting go of responsibility for her ultimately leads to further problems, and he winds up thinking she's dead as well. The reunification scenes in this play are incredibly moving and powerful. In the play Cymbeline, the king, Cymbeline, is moved by his evil new wife, the evil queen, to exile the man that his daughter loves, and then try to force his daughter into a marriage. When his daughter's love, Posthumus, is tricked into thinking she's been unfaithful, he tries to kill her, and she has to flee and disguise herself. Not only that, but the king long ago lost his two sons, and there's a giant family reunion at the end of this play, as well as the lies being exposed and wrongs being righted. And so clearly we have the sense of happy ending. And yet there is still loss. There are characters who die or suffer immensely along the way, unlike in the comedies. Sometimes wicked figures who cause some of the problems are killed along the way, and we see a sense of justice, but it's still not without pain. But what makes the romances particularly important is the idea of repentance, restoration, and forgiveness. I've heard several people who don't like the ending of Cymbeline because they kind of want Posthumus to get what's coming to him. They definitely want Iachimo to get what's coming to him. But my response to this is, do you want Hamlet? Hamlet's a great play, but nobody's happy at the end. Everyone is dead or dying or in absolute misery and grief. Yes, some of these characters deserve much worse treatment than the forgiveness they receive, but there is a power to forgiveness. And it's not just a blessing on those who are forgiven. Forgiveness empowers those who forgive as well. Imogen, who has never done anything wrong in Cymbeline, deserves a happy ending. And granted, she has a lot to work through with Posthumus, as well as the rest of her family. But she's offered something that there's no way she could have received had this play ended like Hamlet. Pericles is an easier one because we don't feel he's as responsible for what happens to his family. But Winter's Tale is a serious challenge. Leonatus was horrible to his wife and heartless towards his children. Forgiving him is hard, but it offers restoration not only for him, but also for his family. Holding on to bitterness and anger don't heal or help at all. Notice also that each of these plays deals with a father and daughter relationship. And it is this daughter that steps into the place and offers a kind of restoration in almost all of these plays. These plays also have a feeling of magic. They feel very much like a fairy tale. We have something that happens long ago that is ultimately righted. And frequently, the series of events that leads up to this righting of wrongs and restoration is incredibly coincidental and almost magical. There are Deus Ex Machina saves everywhere. From the offstage band of pirates that swoop in and save Marina in Pericles, to the fact that in Winter's Tale, Florizel and Perdita meet and fall in love without any knowledge of each other's background or past. There are so many fairy tale elements to these stories as well. Of course, the fairy and monster, Ariel and Caliban, feature prominently in The Tempest. But the lost children in the woods trope, the evil stepmother trope, all of these very fairy tale features are in Cymbeline as well. The statue coming to life in Winter's Tale, and in general there seems to be a sort of intervention from the divine in these plays. The ghosts of posthumous families speaking to Jupiter on his behalf in Cymbeline, in Pericles, the vision that Pericles has while he's on the boat, and if we want to throw Two Noble Kinsmen in there, the prayers that each of the characters make before the last fight scene, which are all answered in their own unique way by the gods, all illustrate this sense that the divine has intervened in this story. They are also some of Shakespeare's richest and most poetic. They are full of songs, and they are a rich and engaging section of Shakespeare's body of work. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.